Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? I feel like a lot of people who initially take that leap have this thought of if I build it, they will come, and
They
I have
don't.
come to discover that's actually not reality. This isn't really a fucking entrepreneur business show, but it is a show about mindset and mental health and talking about the trials and tribulations of life and how we overcome them. What was it like for you when you took that leap? Because I know I'm going to assume, I won't put words in your mouth, but I'm gonna assume that it wasn't as easy as you thought it was gonna be.
Oh, no, nothing. Unfortunately, nothing as easy as you'll think gonna be, and it doesn't happen on the timeline that you want, and I think I was really young then, I didn't realize that. Now I know. Now I have a little bit more detachment to that. But, you know, I I feel like I was very determined. I was very, very determined to make it work. I was like I knew I could go back to retail, but I didn't want to go back to retail because I really did believe in what I was doing would change people's lives because it changed mine. And so I was pretty unapologetic about it. I mean, there was a time I was at a strip club with some friends, and this girl was like, "Oh," she's like, "What do you do?" Somehow she asked me what I did. I said, "I'm a Pilates instructor." And she's like, "Oh, I love Pilates." I'm like, "You guys should do Pilates before you come here." So my mat classes that I had no one knew what I did. I was a brand new teacher. Were full of all these strippers warming up before they went to the strip club. And and I realized I was like, that's how you get it. You just have to tell people what you're doing and people will if you can solve a problem that they have, they're gonna come. And so those ladies coming made me start to go to the coffee shops and made me start going to the college. And I just made it a mission. Any hour I wasn't teaching, I was telling someone what I did, and I know that that scares the introverts that are listening to this. Let me just tell you, I'm a gregarious introvert. I'm going to rest after this podcast. Like I do get my energy from being alone. But the world does require us to engage with other people. If your product, if your job, if your dream is to help others, you have to talk to them. And so I just made it like it was just a job. If I didn't have a client, that's what I was doing. And it didn't feel hard then looking back because I've had to move and I've created other products and I've had to kind of start from scratch. I now realize like it was very hard, but there was no going back. So I kind of just was I didn't let myself sit in the hard and like wallow or wonder like why is this happening to me? Why isn't it easier? I think also just coming from a small town with parents who had to work for every dime that they had, I wasn't disenchanted. I didn't have like those rose colored glasses like it would be easy and people just give me things. But I it was hard, y'all, and it sucks. And it's not easy to be new at something. It's not easy at the beginning of something. But I also knew what I wanted. I really, really, really wanted every single person on the planet doing Pilates, and I wasn't gonna stop until that happened. So we're still on that mission, but,
Yeah, and I think clarity is everything in life, and, from writing down your goals to your mission to your personal values to everything, and clarity for me is really what has put me in the position I am today because I've looked at my life and, of course, the Unbroken Nation knows the mission of this show and the company is to end generational trauma in our lifetime through education and information. And so you think about that, you look at it, you go, okay, now that I have this, I can create everything else around it. But I think so many people get stuck in not having clarity, not knowing where to begin. And was that like this shower thought for you? Was this a 3 a.m. moment? Like, how did you get clarity? Was it just that Pilates had impacted your life so greatly? You're like, oh, this is it? Like, what was, I guess, what was the pendulum swing?
yeah. Um, I wish it was a shower moment. I used to run a lot, and, so I got a lot of thoughts on my run, and I I only know this now, or I only know this since 2013. So in 2008, I did not know this, but I think I was really angry. And I was a really fast runner when I was angry, and I found out in 2013 when I got really happy that I started slowing down. So, but I would get these thoughts on my run, and I just couldn't keep going the way I was going. I just was frustrated. And because I'm not someone who like, we all want certainty, even myself, like, I'm a human being. I wanna know that it's going to happen the way it's going to happen, but I also didn't like showing up day after day, selling people handbags they didn't need, diamond jewelry they didn't need, and they were buying these things to make themselves feel better. But I knew how to make them feel better. And so I just kind of felt like I couldn't keep doing what I was doing to help people feel better about buying stuff when I could help them feel better in a different way. And so on a run, I just remember thinking, "I wish I could just teach Pilates." That was the thought. I wish I could just teach Pilates, which I know everyone hates the word just, but in that moment, like, that was a very specific just. I just wanted to do that. I didn't have anything like it was gonna be easier or simpler. I just knew that that was what I needed to be doing. And so, um, it took me a long time to be okay with that because here's the other thing that people are listening who have this leap to make. You feel you're gonna let people down. Like the store I worked for, they cared for me like I was a daughter. They flew me all over to all their stores. They had dreams for me to manage all the stores when the owner of the store retired. Like I went to their house for Thanksgiving. So for me to quit just felt like I was letting people down. And I am an upholder by nature. I'm a firstborn child. Like letting people down is like not like it's I can't even cancel a dinner, y'all. Like I thank God for my husband because he's like, Leslie, we can cancel. It's okay. I'm like, but they've been planning it. Like I am that person who's like, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, right?